Hey, good morning everybody, it's Mike, and thanks for jumping on the call with me this morning. It's Go Out and List Month, right? It's where we're focused this month, for the entire month of April, on growing our listing site inventory, right? Because it's so important. Because in this business, you have to list to last. You have to. You've got to have a good mix of listing site inventory to last in this business, or your business is going to be erratic with lots of ups and downs. You're going to ride the roller coaster and you're going to get burnt out. And buyer site transactions take so much more time. So we have to generate a certain amount of listing inventory in order to last. And so far this month, we've explored a number of different strategies and key concepts that you'll need to expand your listing site business. Today, I want to focus not on your problems, but I want to focus on the problems that your customers are having, your potential listings. I want to explore ways for you to offer solutions to them. So let's start with this question. What's keeping your customers up at night? What are they worried about? When they can't sleep, what is it that's on their mind? And I jotted down what I think are 6 key concerns that our customers have these days. I want to run through them with you, and I want you to think about this. Think about whether you agree with me on all 6, that these are the things that today's potential home sellers are worried about. And I also want you to be thinking about the solution that you could bring to the table for them, because I think that's what it's all about these days. I don't think they feel they need us to help them find the house. But we're going to talk more about that in just a second. Big concern number 1, what's keeping my customers awake at night? Well, if we were to sell our house, where would we move? Would we be able to find another house that we like and be able to buy it? I think that's all potential sellers' biggest concern right now. Where will we move? I mean, I get it that our house is worth a record amount of money. I get it that you feel like you can sell it fairly quickly for me. But if you were to sell it, where would I move to? Could I find another home that I liked and I was able to buy? I think kind of legitimate, right? Number 2, if we find a house that we love, if we actually do find a house that we love, will they even consider our offer if I still have a house to sell or close? Maybe you've got it under contract, but I still need it contingent. If this house doesn't close, I can't buy the next one. I think people that aren't real estate professionals are really worried about this. This is what's keeping them up at night. Number 3, kind of sounds kind of funny maybe, but it's legitimate. What happens if our house sells too quickly? We need a little time here to get packed and moved and find another place and move on with our lives. If you sell the house this weekend, that's too quick for us. It's all too fast. Concern number 4, with interest rates increasing, can we still afford to buy the next house? Or do we need to stay where we are because our interest rate is just so low? Concern number 5, what's going to happen in the economy and with the real estate market? Are we heading for another 2008? Are prices going to come down? Is the bottom going to fall out of the real estate market? Is the economy going to crash? Am I going to lose my job? This is what's keeping people up at night, folks. Number 6, in our situation, we can't even imagine how we could have showings or an open house with our property. This is very legitimate. I have a gentleman who I know really well, and they had 3 children of their own, and they had adopted 5, they were foster parents for 5 other children. They had 8 children living in their house, and they had 3 dogs. And he just said to me, Mike, we so need a bigger house. We absolutely do. But you can imagine our house is a disaster zone all the time. There's no way we can clean it up. There's no way we can fix it up. There's no way. I mean, it's laughable to think about showings. And if you wanted me to leave the house on a Sunday afternoon and take 8 kids and 3 dogs with me so you could do an open house, that's unthinkable in our world. So we're stuck. We don't know what to do. See, that was keeping him up at night. They desperately need more space. They just can't figure out how they're going to be able to make that happen because they can't buy the next house till they sell this one. But who in the world's going to buy this house? And you might be listening to this all right now and be going, well, here's what you do. I know. That's the whole point this morning. You know what to do. They don't. They don't. So here's what I want to offer to you this morning. In your marketing, speak to the concerns that people are having. So if this is you, and then offer the solution, and I have this. So in the last example, to that gentleman, I just said, oh, no, absolutely, I fully get it. That's why we developed our Easy Sell program, so that you don't have to go through all the showings in the open houses. We'll submit your property to our Easy Sell program. It goes out to 12 to 14 different investment groups, and they come back with offers or no offers, and that populates to a spreadsheet so you can consider which offer might work the best for you. And he said, well, we can't, he goes, Mike, I know how this sounds, but even with all of that, we can't afford to sell the house at a sharp discount to an investor. I said, well, that's the good news. Today, for whatever crazy reason, they're paying at or even sometimes above market value for homes. And he went, oh, well, what do I have to pay? I said, you don't have to pay anything unless one of them buys your house. He goes, no showings? I'm like, nope. No open houses? No. A definitive cash transaction? Yeah. He goes, oh, well, we might be able to do that. And I'm like, great, let's get started. And so we did, and he was able to sell it. See, he didn't know that until I offered him the solution. If we want to sell our house, where will we move? Well, part of my solution to that is just helping people understand that, Mr. Customer, putting your house up for sale and selling your house aren't the same thing. Really? No, we can put you, but what if somebody comes in and offers me a full price offer? Don't I have to take it? No, you don't. Or we could counter it with a number of contingencies. So one solution that I like to offer for people where this is a major concern for them is, I don't want to sell my house until I have another house that I can move to, is, well, we put a reverse contingency in any offer that you might get. If the buyer can ask for a due diligence period, why can't the seller ask for the same thing? If you're not able to find another home within a certain period of time, you reserve the right to cancel this contract. And people say, can you do that? Why can't you do that? If we find a house we love, will they even consider our offer if we still have a house to sell or close on? No, probably not. That's why we have our cash-backed offer program. What happens if our house sells too quickly? Well, that's why you hire me, because I help you control the terms of the transaction. Just because you put your house up for sale doesn't mean you have to go along with any crazy, irrational, or inconvenient terms that someone may ask you. What if, with interest rates increasing, can we still afford to move? Well, tell me what you think is going to happen in the future. 1 year from today, do you think that rates are going to be higher or lower? The reverse of that would be the concern that what's going to happen with the economy and the real estate market? Are we going to live through another 2008? Well, here's the fact. I mean, everybody that lived through that, still, the memory still lingers, right? And we're all concerned that that could happen again. But that is the only time in U.S. history in the last 75 years that home prices have gone down throughout the country. It's the only time it's happened. And that recession was caused by bad real estate lending. And that's not going on today. So could we go through a recession or some kind of slowing of the economy? We could. But to take the most radical incident in U.S. history and keep extrapolating that out like that's doomed to reoccur every 7 to 10 years is irrational. And trying to help people understand that. In your marketing, folks, speak to the concern. Are you worried about this? Is this you? And then if so, here's my solution. And put a name to your solution. And I'm out of time this morning, but I want to dive into this further with you. So why don't you come join me for our 9 o'clock practice session and let's map this out so that you can effectively market yourself and you can bring solutions to the table, because today's modern agent is a trusted advisor. You know the minefield and you know how to get from one side of the minefield to the other, and if they'll just take your hand, you'll lead them across to the other side. That's the modern agent. How about you? Are you still out there trying to help people find the right house? Then you're a dinosaur. But if you're a trusted advisor, then you're in good shape these days. And this is how we go out and we make it happen for ourselves today.